Oh, yeah. Thank y'all so much. I've been waiting for that. Thank you. How's everybody doing this afternoon?
Great.
Good. You know, we have a lot of things to be thankful for. And I think sometimes we always forget about the little things that God gives us every single day that sometimes we just take for granted. So this morning, or this afternoon, just remember all the different things that God has already blessed us with. But let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we just want to take this moment. We just want to pause for a second in this busy and chaotic world, Lord, just to say thank you, Lord. Thank you for giving us another day to wake up and just to spend another day in your creation, Lord. What a blessing that is. I just wanted to say thank you for all of us getting here safely, and that we can continue to be your hands and feet, Lord, in the Irving and Las Colinas community, and also to bring awareness to everyone. We also want to spread a special prayer for the food that we received. Bless the hands that prepared it, so that we can continue to be in the mission and continue to go forward what you have for us. We give this all to you in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, my friend. And I'm going to invite our foundation chair, Val Bozak, to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in honoring our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, y'all may have a seat. Yes, and here's our secretary, Donna Arellano, coming forward, and she's going to introduce our visitors and guests today.
Yeah, Donna. Oh.
Today we have a visitor. Ronnie, come on. Did I do good?
You did great. You did great.
Ronnie. Okay. Guest of Ryan Meany, welcome. And then we have guests of John Van Buren, Becca DeLaRoche, and Sandra Davison is back.
Hey.
Thank you very much, Donna. So I'm going to remind us again at the end, but we are building flags this Saturday. Dr. Bill Labar, are we starting at 8:30?
8:30 to 9:30.
8:30 to 9:30 at the barn. Please come. It's always a good time to do some service together. We're pretty efficient about getting in and out of there in about an hour, so we won't take up too much of your time. So if you're available this Saturday morning, we would appreciate your help in this endeavor so that our flags will be ready to go out for the next holiday. So please put that on your calendar if you have the time available, and I will remind us again at the end of our meeting. Without further ado, I want to invite our Chair of Vocational Service, as well as our Program Director, to come forward, Terry Oliver, and introduce our guests.
Yeah, Terry.
Our special speaker.
Nice to see you guys here today. Such a nice group. Our speaker today is Jennifer Landry. Jenn has been in museums and archives for over 20 years. She's the director of museums for the city of Irving, where she led the team to build the new Irving archives and museums. If you haven't been over, I highly suggest you go over and visit. In addition to the daily management of the museum, right now she's overseeing the managing the restoration of the Jackie Townsell Bear Creek Heritage Center. So she has her hands full. She has a degree in history from Clarion University and a master's degree in public history from UK. So please help me welcome Jenn.
Thank you for having me. We didn't go over how the PowerPoint works. Okay. And then do you want me to just tell you to advance or?
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll see how this goes, because I'm not sure what slides I put in.
You'll be just as entertained as we will.
It'll all be a surprise for all of us.
Yeah.
So thank you all for having me. It's been a while since I've been here at Rotary to speak. I think maybe the last time we were also on Zoom. But it's such a pleasure to be here, and we just love Irving and the history of Irving, but also the support that our community gives to our cultural organizations and activities. And so, as Terry mentioned, I oversee all the museums in Irving. But today we're going to talk a little more specifically, because it's Black History Month. I thought we would focus on some of the Black history that is available in our city to learn about. Because if I talk to you about all the museums, we can hear for hours. So, because there's a lot going on. But just in case you're not familiar with kind of how we're structured, in 2017, the city formed the Department of Arts and Culture. And that consolidated our art center as well as all of our museums and our archives into one department. I came on board in 2017 as well as the first museum director. And our museums include the Irving Archives Museum, which is our newest museum. That is located right on the City Hall campus in the old Central Library. The Las Colinas Museum, which we reopened last fall after an extended closure due to renovations and the pandemic. But if you have not been back to visit, please do make a point of stopping by and saying hi to Mary. She's so happy to be back. And the Ruth Payne House Museum, which of course is connected to the assassination of President Kennedy. That tells the story of two young mothers who got wrapped up in the assassination because Marina Oswald was living with Ruth Payne at the time. They both had two young children each. And Ruth, unaware of what was about to happen, got swept up in a massive historical moment. I'm excited to say that Ruth is in her 90s. But is still alive, and of course this is this year of the 60th anniversary of the assassination. And if her health holds and she's able to travel, she will be here in November, so stay tuned. It's going to be a really amazing program to have her give a first-person account of those events. And then the Jackie Townsend Bear Creek Heritage Center, which we'll talk a little bit more about here as we go along. And then of course our sister institution, as I call it, is the Irving Arts Center. So next slide. So that's our home base, the Irving Archives and Museum. We opened in February of 2020 and closed 3 weeks later. And, and I will probably be saying that until the day I retire. But we survived and navigated this incredibly challenging time, but managed to reopen in that fall and then of course have a grand opening last year or 2021. And but that's home base. And in that museum, we have a permanent exhibition that tells the history of Irving and gives it a more national context. So it's North Texas, it's Irving specific, but it tells that national context. And in that permanent exhibition, we do tell quite a bit and interweave our African-American history in that, because Bear Creek is such an essential part of who Irving is and our long-term history, and was an early community. If you're not familiar, Bear Creek was one of the first freedmen communities in North Texas. Dates back until the 1850s. But in that exhibit, Becca reminded me I needed to give a shout out. We actually have won a national award and a state award for that permanent exhibition. We won the American Association of State and Local History Museum a Museum of Excellence Award from them for the permanent exhibition. And we just received earlier this month the John L. Now III Museum of Excellence for the State of Texas Award from the Texas Historical Commission. We are incredibly humbled and honored that we're able to deliver such quality programs to our community, but also to our visitors. Irving has a lot to offer. And then right now, you're really good at this, by the way.
Jordan's the pro.
Right now, we have sort of a temporary gallery as well, and we host nationally traveling exhibitions. You may have heard our most recent show we had was from the Smithsonian, and it was on the Green Book, which is the African American Travel Guide. And that got us a lot of attention. We actually had over 600 visitors closing weekend. But our next exhibition, which we just opened, is from the National World War II Museum. And that is called Fighting for the Right to Fight African American Experiences in World War II. And so this exhibition looks at what those experiences were like for people that signed up to serve our country and fight for democracy abroad, but came home facing the segregation that they thought by serving in the military perhaps would push the needle and cause change. It was called Double Victory. The idea that we were going to, fight and save democracy abroad, but also achieve more equality at home. So it looks at their stories. It features the Tuskegee Airmen, of course, and other battalions and service members, and then includes some really great original artifacts, including a Medal of Honor, which is they're incredibly rare, and it's a big deal to be able to show one in a museum setting. So I hope you'll come out. We also have a lot of great programs coming up. 2 film screenings of Double Victory, which is of course that story. And that is actually produced by George Lucas. We got permission to be able to screen it here. It's a free, all these programs are free, by the way. And so I hope that you'll be able to come out to view that film. On March 18th, we have Brigadier General Leon Johnson coming. He is a retired Air Force general. He's a pilot. And but also served for 10 years as president of the Tuskegee Airmen Historical Foundation. So while not Tuskegee himself is much younger, he has been the one to work extensively with the Tuskegee Airmen as they were aging, and it became so clear that we needed to get their documentation and hear their stories. And then stay tuned. We're working on getting a film screening of 688. And this is a fascinating all-female battalion. It was all African American, and they were assembled to be shipped over to England and then eventually France. There was a huge backlog of mail. So you think about everyone sending mail, right, care packages to their service members abroad. But in the heat of 44 and 45 in Europe, the mail got backlogged, and there were warehouses full of mail that was not getting. And of course, people were moving around because the war is moving quickly at that point. What no one had been able to accomplish in 2 years of getting that mail out to where it needed to be, they did it in 6 months. And just a remarkable story and just groundbreaking work that they did in terms of not only of just African Americans, but as women as well. So next slide. So our other main feature for African American history is our Dr. Townsend Bear Creek Heritage Center. It's out in West Irving in historic Bear Creek community. It includes 3 historic structures that we've moved onto parkland between the 1990s and early 2000s. And we get about 500 to 1,000 visitors a year out there. We're on, there are bus tours that highlight African American history throughout the Metroplex, and we are a stop on those tours. Next slide. It's not fully open right now, and in fact, we've been in a long-term project for that. As Terry mentioned, that's one of my big projects I've been working on since 2019. The buildings, they're all wood structures. We had some flooding issues on that property, and by fall of 2019, we knew we needed to do something, and some radical steps needed to take to preserve those structures and the history of that community. And so we had a historic structures report that came in at about 1.7 million in 2019, and if you are at all connected with the construction industry, you know that right now that would be about probably a $2.5 million project. We did a lot of value engineering, worked with city staff, building facilities staff, and have managed to do this project as well as add exhibition redesign for about $800,000.
Wow, well done.
Yeah. Here's the work in progress. First thing we had to do is take care of the water issue, because if you got wood buildings, there's no point fixing them if you're still going to get them wet. So we did landscape drainage and installed a lot of French drains on the property, and that was completed in 2020. And then last year we completed all the exterior work. So all 3 buildings have had complete exterior makeovers. The greenhouse, which is the smallest house on the property, is, it's called board and back construction, but we just basically did preservation and stabilization on that property. But the other two structures, the Davis House and the Masonic Lodge, received complete overhauls. They have new siding on them, new windows on the Davis House, restored windows on the lodge, and they're looking good. Next slide. There they are. They make me so much happier now when I see them. You know, I started to hear, you know, they're kind of nicer. I'm like, well, we gotta do something about that. But they're looking really great on the outside. Next step is inside. So we will be starting in the next month complete interior overhauls on the lodge and the Davis House, which you see here. New flooring, redoing walls, plaster. The greenhouse is open, so if you would like to tour, we do by appointment tours out there. That we've restored to look as a home would have looked out there in the 1920s. The next slide is, yeah, the interiors. So we did some refresh and reinterpretation of that house. But the other two are exhibition spaces, but this house has been made to look like it would have looked in the 1920s. And then, yeah, so coming up, we've got our interior restoration work, and then we will be hiring an exhibit designer in the next month here to come on board and help us redesign the Lodge and Davis House exhibits. In the Lodge, it was the story of African history from emancipation through civil rights. And in the Davis House, it was specifically Bear Creek's history, telling the story of that community. And the content is solid, but we have found that with the 21st century audience, we need to take a little bit of a different interpretive route, especially when we have 500 school kids come through in 4 hours from Davis Elementary, which is right down the road. We need a little less text and a little more interactivity. So we'll be doing some redesigns, and then we're also adding exterior signage. So right now, if you go out there, there's no exterior interpretation. So if we're not open, you just see some old buildings, but you don't know the history. So we're going to be adding some interpretive signage so that if you're visiting the park or you're walking the trail nearby and stop by, you will actually get to learn a little bit about Bear Creek's history. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes.
Where is Bear Creek?
So you go out Rock Island Road, headed west in the city. So go past City Hall and keep on Rock Island, cross over Beltline. It's the first stop sign. If you turn right, cross over the railroad tracks, it's right there on the corner. It's 2350 Jackson.
West of Beltline.
West of Beltline, yeah. Just about less than 2 miles west of Beltline. It's on Jackson's the address, Jackson Street, but if you, I just tell people, you know, go to Rock Island, pass over Beltline, come to the stop sign, turn right. You'll go past, the city just put in a pocket park out there, dedicated to Martin Luther King Jr. Past that, and you can't miss the lodge. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Jenn. All those programs that were on the screen before, are they at the Huffman building?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so those will all be at the Huffman, and you'll also have the opportunity to tour the traveling exhibition. The traveling exhibition is up through April 14th. If you're a member of the Friends, you have free admission all the time, but we do offer second Saturdays thanks to our friends at the Irving Museums. That's a free day where we always have special programming on the second Saturday of the month, and Sundays are free as well, every Sunday, so 12 to 4 on Sundays. So we love for you to come pay admission, but if you want a free day.
Just a comment for you all who haven't been to one of the, well, not only the exhibits, but the programs at the museum. I'm telling you, they are so excellent. They bring in such good speakers. There's always a packed house. And it's just wonderful to see the kind of turnout that the archives and museum staff is because of the quality, I think, of the programs. Explain that Smithsonian connection with the.
Sure. So we are a Smithsonian affiliate as a Department of Arts and Culture. So the Art Center started that connection close to 2 decades ago. But what that does, so like the Green Book, for example, was a coup for us to get because it has had a limited exhibition run. It's only going to about 15 cities in the country. And we were the smallest museum to get it in terms of both our square footage and also kind of, you know, how much reach, and because we're new, we have. And but it was that affiliation that allowed us to kind of get a leg up to be able to be on that tour. It allows us to bring in traveling exhibitions, offer additional programs, access to their speakers, so their curators and historians were able to access them for programs as well as information, and then a lot of educational opportunities for teachers as well. So it's a great connection that we've been able to achieve. And of course, you know, the Smithsonian, everyone knows if you know anything about the Smithsonian, is kind of like the mother church, right? And so it's really, it's just a great connection for us to have. And it's great for the city for us to be able to have that here.
I just wanted to say a comment like Patty did. If you haven't been, you need to go. It's a treasure. It's a jewel of Irving. And it's just fantastic what they've done. If you have children, grandchildren, they would love it. There's a cockpit of an airplane, like you can, you know, like a plane on from DFW. It's fantastic. I recommend it to everybody.
Thank you. And I got to know Becca. One of the other programs we have at the museum is we really emphasize community partnerships. So we designed the space where the permanent exhibition is only about a third of the total space. We have room for temporary exhibitions, and then we also have a lot of room for community programs and exhibitions. And so we worked on an exhibition last year on the Great Flag Paper, where we told that unique Irving story, where we celebrate our independence and our unity by lighting MacArthur with flags. And but we are always looking for opportunities to collaborate and have partnerships with community organizations or groups to tell the history of Irving and tell more stories, not just in the permanent exhibit, but bigger stories about Irving. And then sometimes they connect with our temporary exhibits, but they don't have to. So with Green Book, we had a local exhibition that we worked with Irving Black Arts Council on. And that allowed us to tell the local story around traveling and being part of the Black community during Jim Crow. But we're always looking for opportunities, and that's part of actually what is getting us the national and state recognition that we are receiving, is the fact that we are a community space and not just an exhibition that gets put up and never changes.
Speaking of excellent programs, that the Black Arts Council that was done in conjunction with the Green Book, I saw ICTN there, and have they made a program of that yet?
So Bob's talking about, we did a panel discussion with the Black Arts Council coordinated and arranged it, and that's another great thing about community partnerships. They use their contacts and managed to secure Miss Ogilvie. If you don't know who Miss Ogilvie is, she's the grandmother of Juneteenth and Fort Worth native, and oh my gosh, one of the highlights of my career to get to meet her. But we recorded that, and so actually if you go to our website, you can actually watch the recording of that panel discussion. I think it's under programs or past exhibits, and you can actually watch the recording of that panel discussion. It included Imogene Rogers and other community members who had grown up during that era, talking firsthand experiences of what it was like and their reflections on how we can do better. It was
Excellent.
yeah.
That was a packed house.
That was a packed house, yeah.
It's really worth the time to go and watch
Great.
What's your ultimate, just a quick question, what is the ultimate exhibit you would want to bring to our museum?
Goodness.
it.
Green Book's up there. Green Book is top 3 in exhibits I posted or worked with. It was incredibly well designed. It told a really important story that we all can connect with. And provided people an opportunity to not just understand the challenges that African Americans faced while traveling during Jim Crow, but also how joy and like overcoming the obstacles was an act of resistance. And I loved how they highlighted all these Black entrepreneurs that became incredibly successful in spite of many challenges they faced. And so I don't have a specific topic or but I wish there were a lot more exhibits like Green Book out there. You know, it was just such an impactful exhibition and just really well designed. So yeah, if I could have, you know, a Green Book exhibit every year, that would be amazing. Well, thank you.
That was wonderful. I learned a lot, and apparently I need to go visit the museum next.
Yeah.
It's only taken 4 years, although to my credit, half of those years have been pandemic, so.
Yeah, there you go. Give you a pass.
But thank you, I appreciate that. But friends, some quick announcements for us. Please remember, if you're available, come help us put flags together. No skills required. If you can't do the work, which is pretty easy for the most part, you can take pictures and just help build camaraderie with us. So all are welcome. We are postponing our board meeting until next week. So those board members, if you're available to be there, please stay after the meeting next week. We'll get to hear about Lazaro's time at Pets. He's going to Pets tonight and this weekend. So for our president-elect, he's going to need it. It's an intense weekend, but I'm glad he's doing that. It is a unique and wonderful experience. So we're excited for you, Lazaro. Also, we do have coming up some more great programs. So remember that we have the opportunity to invite friends and guests and people we know so that we can continue to spread the good word about this club and about our community. You know, we have good programs. We continue to learn more and more about what Irving has to offer. And we want to make sure other people are aware of that as well. So do we have any other announcements for the good of the club? Lazaro.
Give it up for Shane.
This weekend, like Shane said, I'm going to the Pets program that it starts tonight and all the way to Sunday. So it starts 8 a.m. and I think it is around the same time, PM time, both days or 3 days. So now what I want to talk to you guys about is April 1st. April 1st is the 11th annual Irving Marathon. We are projecting about between 3,400 to 3,800 runners. About 700 of them are going to be completed the 26.2 mile distance. About 1,500 are going to be doing the half marathon, which is 13 miles. So what I'm thinking is the Rotary clubs should either be at the water station somewhere around the Mustangs, right? Kind of by the Chamber of Commerce, very easy to get, or at the finish line at Dave Meadows. We have about a month and a half to get prepared, but I think it'll be kind of cool to have the Rotary club there. So I just want to leave you guys with that, and then Shane can probably do some more of those stuff. But just want to let you guys know that it's April 1st, and we're expecting a lot of people, and it'll just be fun to have you guys there. That's my announcement. Thank you.
Bob, come on forward.
I almost forgot.
Past president, Bob, you should.
Almost forgot. A lot of you know Marilyn Williams, and Marilyn is very involved in the North Texas Teen Book Festival. And I think that's going to be a week from this Saturday, Patty.
Yes.
They still need a few volunteers for between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. At the end of the day, all of these teenagers who read books and have attended all of the author seminars, go downstairs to the main floor of the convention center, and they wait online to get their books signed, autographed by the authors. And so they need, I did it for the first time last year, it was easy, but they just need adults in the room to say, no, over here, please. And it's very easy duty, but it's amazing to watch these thousands of kids, and they're all good kids, and they're big book readers, and 3 to 5, if you can do it, I will send you the link, so let me know.
Thanks, Bob. All right, thanks, Bob.
Now, come on up so the people at work or at home can hear you.
Many of you know that we do service work and make dinners for Family Promise, and our rotation is coming up soon. Sunday, March 5th through that Saturday. We have availability on Wednesday, March 8th. If you have any interest in either buying or making a meal dinners, specifically where they have 2 families that they're housing, and they ask for us to provide dinners for them. So if you have any interest at all, we have that slot open. And it's great for Family Promise of Irving, it's community members in and just helping them. So just let us know if you have any interest in doing that. So thank you.
I don't know.
Participated. This is the neat thing. You don't have to have cooking skills. I will attest to that. When I host, I'll go get something from the store that's already pre-made, and then maybe make some sides or some desserts, things that I can handle that they'll be able to eat. But I do highly recommend it. We are back in the churches now, so that's a little bit more fun. So not only do you get to drop off the food, but you can stay and eat with the family and visit with them. Our church just did it this past week, and I got to stay the night with them one night. And it's 2 lovely single moms, and there's one mom has 2 kids, one has one little infant that is adorable. So it's worth doing. It really helps some people that are in a hard place, but it is a wonderful experience. So I couldn't encourage you more. So if you're interested, you can talk to Val, you can talk to myself, or you can talk to Dr. Parra, and we can get you more information. But we could really use one more person to serve dinner, and I can give you some suggestions if you're interested. Awesome. Any other announcements for the other club? Yeah, you got some presentations, don't you? Awesome. Come on. Lieutenant Cody Jones, let's get.
Yeah.
There's 2 things. I want to say a big update. A lot of no one here really knows. We have actually been awarded with the Dallas County to help with get an EFA grant, which is our emergency fund assistance. We've been awarded $12,500 to help anyone in Dallas County, not just Irving, but anyone who needs help with deposits, and now also with their first month's rent to get started and get into a housing. We've been seeing a huge increase of the rental here in Irving, and it is just crazy to see some of the prices for just a 1-bedroom, and to try to help these families make deal with what they have. So we've seen a large increase in our food pantry. We had about 42 families come in just in 3 hours. So we're seeing a big need and a big increase, but we're continuing to find these grants to continue to help the citizens of Irving. And to go into that, how many of y'all bell ringed at the Walmart? Right, yes.
Nice.
So thank you for what y'all do, because that also goes to help the citizens in the community of Irving to continue to meet the 3 basic needs: food, shelter, and to make sure that everything of their basic needs are met. you know, we believe in soup, soap, and salvation. If you have an empty belly and you're not able to have a clean clothes or anything, then you really don't want to hear about Jesus. So we want to make sure we meet all those 3 needs here in the community of Irving. So, not to take a lot of your time, after this meeting, if you'll come by where I'm sitting, Ed's gonna help me out. I have bell ringer awards for each one of y'all that's rang bells with us, because I cannot thank you enough. You might think it's just, oh, I only did it for 2 hours, but those 2 hours mean a lot. And we couldn't do what we do in this community without you. And I just thank God every single day for the Rotary here, because y'all always give us time and efforts. And you just don't know all the families that come in and just say thank you, that they knew that there was hope at the Salvation Army, and that hope is brought by y'all. So thank you so much for letting me share, and God bless each and every one of y'all.
And that highlights one of our regular service opportunities that we have every year. So if you were like me and missed your opportunity this year, it won't be long before we're ringing bells again, right?
It won't be long.
Very good. Well, we have one last thing that I'd like to take care of so we can make it official. And we've been announcing that Dr. Bill Labar is our president nominee, but it's not official until the club says so. So I will at this time entertain a motion for any other nominees.
Can I do a dissenting opinion?
No, that is out of order. All right, can I get a motion to cease nominations?
Cease nomination.
Patty, Bob, I'll take you as a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? You might sign yourself up as a nominee, okay? The the nominees have ceased, so now can I get an official motion to elect Dr. Bill Labar as our president nominee? Lieutenant Cody Johns, Buddy, you're the second. All those in favor say amen.
Amen.
Any opposed?
FN.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, in that case, it is official. The motion carries. Dr. Bill Labar, thank you for your willingness. We appreciate it, and I appreciate all the help that you do for this club, including getting us organized to build the flags. So we are good. We still have 5 minutes, but I'm not going to keep you. I invite you to take those last 5 minutes of our meeting to talk to one another, to introduce yourselves to our guests, and to check in with each other. So y'all have a blessed day, and we're going to stand up and do the 4-way test.
All right.
Close us out. Heather, would you be willing to lead us in the 4-way test?
Sure.
Awesome.
The 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And may the good Lord bless and keep you all.